Hi folks, it's Evo here from Thundermist Lure Company, and welcome to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. I'm out here without the boatless angler today, but I am boatless. It's the month of June. We've had a cold front move in last night, but we're going to give it a try today, and we're trying for carp. You know how much I love to fish for carp, and more people are fishing for carp, folks, because it's so much fun. And what I'm using today is the classic bolt rig. I've got a T-turn down to a sinker. And what I've done, folks, is I've loaded up a hook here. I've got a circle hook I'm running today, and I've loaded it up with corn. And if you're going to run a bolt rig, you put a real heavy sinker on off the T-turn, and then you go off about a foot or so to your hook. And the whole idea with the bolt rig is when the carp picks up the bait, they're going to pick it up, feel that weight of the sinker, and then they're going to bolt off. And that's why, folks, the circle hook is ideal if you're going to run a bolt rig, because with the circle hook the fish will hook themselves. All you have to do is just start reeling. So that's the setup today. That's today's preferred setup. I'm going to just cast it out a bit. I've already chummed the area with some corn, and now what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to sit patiently and wait, and hopefully that cold front hasn't affected things too much. But in the meanwhile, it's a nice day, the birds are all out, I'm going to enjoy the scenery and sit patiently and wait for a bite. Okay folks, now that I'm set up, I just want to talk a little bit more about that bolt rig. And you'll see it starts off with the T-turn swivel. And the T-turn that I'm using today, folks, is the medium-sized T-turn. It's rated for 55 pounds. It's plenty strong for these carp. And I really like that medium-sized T-turn swivel for this kind of fishing. It keeps me tangle-free and avoids line twists. It works great. And then the sinker, with a bolt rig, 3 ounce, 4 ounce, even 5 ounce sinker is okay. You want to make sure it's heavy, that the carp feel that resistance and they bolt off. So that's the other thing. And the last thing is the hook. And the circle hook I'm using today, preferably size 4, size 2 circle hooks. I like the size 2 a little bit better because it's got a wider gap to it and allows for a better hook set with the size 2 circle hook. And the third thing is, when you're using these hooks and you're using corn, I like to load the corn up on the hook all the way up the shank, all the way down to cover the entire hook with corn, and that way the carp don't suspect anything, because they're a very, very suspicious fish by nature. So I want to make it as less suspicious as possible. So by covering the hook, they can't detect anything, and it also gives them more corn to try and eat. So that's the setup, and like I said, folks, now it's just a matter of, it's just a waiting game, waiting for that first bite, and I'm hoping to get one real soon. Okay, well, folks, let me tell you something. The bolt rig did its job there. He just bolted away. What a pick up and go. You know, I get asked a lot. Oh, I get asked a lot, how do you know when you got a bite? Let me tell you something, folks. When you're fishing for carp, there's absolutely no doubt. You don't have to ask that question, how do you get a bite? Because there's no doubt. They just pick it up and take off. Oh, I have no idea how big he is, but what I'm running today, folks, on this bait caster reel. I've got 25-pound fluorocarbon line that I'm running. And I like to run a little bit heavier line with these carp, because they, if you get a real big one on, they can break you off. And you got to use your drag setting very nicely. Like right now, when you get them close to shore. Back up. That's a nice carp. When they come close to shore like that, folks, what you got to do, if you got to back off on your drag a bit, because they'll take a run just like that. And they'll have a tendency to snap your line. He's just peel and drag right now, folks. Now that he's back out there, I can tighten up a bit. Try to put a little pressure on him. Oh, he's taking off again. Oh, there he goes again. Wow, these fish are strong, folks. They really are strong. I'm putting pretty good pressure on them too, but not too much that it's going to risk breaking my line. Okay, I'm gonna have to grab that net and land him myself. He looks like a good solid 10-pounder. See if I can grab this net here. Okay, there he is there. Oh yeah. See how thick they are, folks? It's a thick fish. That's a nice looking carp. Beautiful golden color. There we go. And in the bag. There's a nice carp there, folks. Wow, actually he's thick and heavy. That is one nice carp right there. Look how thick the tail is. My hand can't even, my fingers don't touch around his tail. But if you could tell how thick this carp is, folks, he's thick and heavy. I'm gonna say that this carp is an honest 12 pounds. But let's get him back in the water. And by the way, folks, this is a common carp. It's not the invasive species that you hear about, the Asian carp. This is a common carp. They've been around for years. They're quite fine to put back in the water. That is fantastic. That is one nice fight. You never know, folks, these carp run from, they run from 3-4 pounds right up to 40 pounds plus. So you just never know what size you're gonna get. But right now I do know one thing. I'm gonna load back up and get my line back out there again. Oh, folks, that answers the question about the cold front. Guess what? The bites haven't been fast and furious, but it's been about 15-20 minutes since that last fish. So I guess this little bit of a cold front. Oh, he's peeling. This little bit of a cold front has not made a difference. And what I did, folks, this time, I put my fishing rod down rather than holding it. Oh my goodness. And by putting it down, what I had to do is I had to loosen up on my drag, because if you put your rod down when you're fishing for these carp, and if you keep your tight drag, what'll happen, folks, they'll just pick up your rod and you'll lose rod, reel, and everything. They'll just take off with it right in the water. You know, folks, like I mentioned, I'm using regular corn. A lot of people ask me, what kind of corn do you use? There he goes again. Boy, this is a riot. All I'm using, folks, is regular corn. Corn that you get right from your grocery store. And you can use, he's just peeling. You can use regular canned corn. Whatever your favorite brand is, it doesn't really matter. So you've got canned corn, and you also have frozen corn that you can get in the frozen section, just of whatever your local grocery store is. And that's all I'm using today, folks, and it works really, really well. Oh, there he is there. Oh, it's about the same size. Oh, maybe a little smaller than that other one. Maybe a tad smaller, but not much. I'm gonna say he's about 8-10 pounds. Okay. Oh, actually, he's just. Oh, get underneath him there. There we go. Oh boy, actually, he's heavier than I thought. Oh, yes, he's heavier than I thought. He's another 12 pounder. 12 and change. And the circle hook, folks, has done its job, as you can see here. Circle hook, right? It's done its job. That's what happens. The circle hook catches just right in the side of the mouth, and usually easy to come out, just like that. Perfect. And here is one nice carp. Oh, look at that carp. Actually, he is bigger than that. You know what? He's just as heavy as that other one. Just as heavy. 12, maybe 13. They're very deceiving because they're so thick. They're so thick and powerful. And that's what makes them so much fun to catch. Okay, let's get this guy right back in the water. Nice. Oh, a nice little catch and release there, folks. And you know what? I got to tell you, I was a little worried with this cold front, but I think I'm going to be having myself a great day out here today. And you know, before I sign off, I would like to say one quick thank you to our subscribers. We absolutely love our subscribers. You leave us great comments and feedback, and we're very thankful and appreciative of that. Thank you very much. And you know, if you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to do so. You'll be joining a great family of subscribers, and we certainly would love to have you as we have a lot more fish catching action coming your way. Folks, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. And as always, until next time, good luck. Good fishing. Let's shut that down. Let's take our boilies out and put the boilies in some cold water, just like that, so they stop cooking.